What's up, everybody? How's it going? How you doing? Doing great. Glad to hear it. Um, this is part two of our webinar series on Canvas Elements Design. Today, we're focusing a little bit more on accessibility. I'm Jonathan Aragon, here with Eric Thomas, and we are with the Center for Academic and Faculty Excellence. So we're totally on brand here because when we're talking about accessible Canvas design, hey, that's great for academic and faculty excellence. So we're doing good. All right, so I want to make a few pointers on engagements. In terms of engagement, I have the closed caption enabled below. So if you want to click that CC button, you will see my spoken word as it is spoken. And as always, just an inclusive reminder that this is your workshop, this is for you, this is your time. So interrupt me because it's not an interruption. So speak up, engage however is authentic to you, ask questions, participate, or just sit back and listen to me ramble on. All of the above is fine. It's just whatever you want this to be, that's what it will be. And Eric's going to jump in at any point they want to as well. Okay, great. So just a recap of what we talked about last time. Last time we talked about striking this balance between student-centered design, faculty-friendly design, and institutional compliance, right? So we talked about things like including the details that are important for students to get onto Canvas and start doing what they need to do with as few barriers as possible, and also designing it in a way that reduces the need for you to have to do a lot of changes from one semester to the next. Like just calling the modules like session one, session two, not putting dates and stuff like that on it, having files that have like all your slides on it. So you can just put one link to everything in there instead of having to make hyperlinks for everything and using permalinks that don't really expire, right? So, and in terms of institutional compliance, that's kind of what the university wants too. They want to see that we're using links because that way, like the library can track what we're using and what we're not. And then the authors of articles and so forth get the citations that they really like. And that would be great for you too. As you author papers, you'll get your see that people are looking at your stuff. Okay, great. So today, we're focusing more on the accessibility aspect of it. So what do we mean when we're talking about an accessible Canvas design? We're basically referring to a design focus, thinking ahead, right? Thinking ahead while you're building your Canvas Learning Hub in a way that everybody can succeed without the need to seek out accommodations, right? So there's this sort of oppressive thing that we want to sort of do away with whenever possible, where people have to go and ask for special services in their classes, seek accommodations because they meet some certain criteria. And we don't want to do that because um, we all have learning disabilities of different kinds. And so it's kind of not really inclusive to say, oh, you fit in this category, therefore you qualify, right? And there's a lot of people that need it that don't seek it out because they don't want to spotlight themselves, right? So, so really, when we talk about universal design and learning, like what we talk about in our college teaching certificate courses, basically all that is saying is that you want to design things that works for everybody, right? So whether you need accommodations or you don't, it's better for everyone. And the classic example we use is like an escalator or a ramp, right? A wheelchair can get up it, and a person carrying luggage it also works for them, right? So it works for everybody. So you just want to build a Canvas site that works for everybody. So this means considerations in things like your navigation, the way the content is presented. So are your headers, bigger than the other text? Is there bold where it needs to be bold? Is there adequate spacing between the letters? Are lists numbered with either bullet points or numbers? How's your multimedia? Is there closed caption on multimedia? Is it really like jumping around all over the place? Are there flashing lights that might affect someone that has epilepsy or something like that? Or are you static? Static, right? Static, talking directly to the camera, being calm, not moving around a lot, right? That's better for everybody. Um, you know, in terms of I get kind of called out for this all the time. Oops. I get called out for this all the time because I'm a comedian as well as a professor. And people are like, "Oh, why don't you make your, classes more entertaining and more engaging?" Because, learning is not always the same as entertainment, right? Sometimes you just need things to be calm, steady paced, so everybody can succeed, right? We don't want all the flashing lights and bells and whistles all the time. There's a time and place for that stuff, but right, not in your multimedia. Uh, Forms and activity, yeah, color contrast. We want to talk about like not having things that are really hard to read. So we talked about like things being spaced out properly. You don't want like bright red text and dark blue background or something like that because that's really hard for the eye on those that are not visually challenged and those that are. So it's better for everybody. Um, and like in terms of quizzes, like we don't want to say choose which of these is hot and which of these is cold. And you've got a red box and a blue box, right? Well, someone that, is colorblind may not know what the right box to pick is. So you want to think about meaning is represented in text, so it can be read with a screen reader and not just with visual accessing it. Um, Compatibility with assistive technologies. Yeah, that's what I just said with the screen readers. So we want to make sure that we're writing captions for our images so that when we run into an image, we can hear what it's representing. Yeah, compliance standards. All right. So last time we lived basically on the slides, and this time I want to go on the Canvas and kind of just go through some of the things I'm talking about. So I'm going to stop share. I'm going to, okay. So here's just like a very simple like Canvas front page threw together that we can kind of use as an example. Let me go to Zoom. Okay, great. I can see that you can see my screen back here. Okay, great. So, so the first thing that people see when they come to the front page is like this banner at the top, right? And that can be good for a few reasons. Like it's not totally necessary or required. It will read out the name of the course at the top here anyway, but it's just kind of nice for people to know that they're at the right place. And it's the first thing that we see. Now, the simplest way to achieve a banner is just to create a table. So if you go into edit, hit enter, you can insert table and just put one cell. And then you can write the name of course. Right? And then advanced, just give it some shading in the background. Give it a black border, maybe. Maybe we'll make it thick, like 5. You know what I mean? And it will do like a very simple banner. Um, or you can go with creating an image and putting it up. Um, just kind of on par with what we talked about last week is that notice I just said, welcome to sample class 101. Now, if you're thinking, I want to be really inclusive for students and put all the information in that image, then you're really setting yourself up for extra work because then every semester you got to change your image, right? And we have, the information for the course here, right? So we can trust that they'll go down and read it and you can change that information rather than the image. But if you go with just using the table for the banner, then you can put that information in there and it's easy to change, right, from one semester to the next if you wanted to put that information in there. So this just goes to say that efficiency beats out fancy every time when it comes to integrating technology with your classes. Unless there's a really good reason for doing something fancy, like are redefining the learning that is possible using the technology, like if you're going to write a blog or something instead of a traditional college essay, that's where using something fancy like a content management system would make sense, right? But if it's just for distributing course information, right, always better just to keep it simple. And either is fine. I also want to point out the colors that are being used. So black and gray, you can't go wrong, right? If you just go black and gray, you're fine. Now, your universities are going to have their own marketing and branding that they want you to use, and they'll probably even give you like a template or a shell to use. So use what they give you, right? But if you're making a course for the public, let's say, or you're, making an independent course that you're selling, in terms of inclusivity standards, if you just go with simple flat colors, then you'll be fine, right? So, in terms of responsiveness, if you just go with this table here, if you switch to your iPhone or you switch to your smartphone, whatever kind it is, no shade for Android users. If you switch to your smartphone and you go to your computer or back and forth, this will automatically adjust, right? Sometimes if you put a banner image on there, then you have to go in and set the width to 99 to like 100% or something like that, so that whenever you switch from one screen to the next, it doesn't get all, jumbled out of place, right? Um, Now, the other thing is we have the alt text here, right? So you want to make sure that you're naming the image. You can, if you use an image, you want to call it like decorative if it's just for decorative purposes, or if you want to say in the text what it is, the screen reader will then read it out. I'm trying to actually get my screen reader to read it. Okay, that's not working. But anyway, I think you get the point. All right. Going back to the same point, we have all the navigation links here. So you have them over here on the side too. So it's fine to use them. But when you put the links here, we're kind of telling everybody that these are the things we want you to focus on. Now, in terms of simplicity, you see we have like a link for all the readings or all the slides. And then you have the Zoom link if it's a Zoom class. And then we have a place for feedback. So all the links that they need are right here. And we achieved that just using a simple table, right? And we titled it at the top, like key pages, or we can call it key links, something like that. To do that, all you do is go, table, throw a bunch in there, and then you remove the border. right? And then you go to insert, link, course links, course navigation, and then, you can choose what you want, like syllabus, assignments, whatever you want, right? And then you can just drag them in and create something like a menu like that. Um, Now I did something kind of this fancy design where I put these buttons in, right? But then look at this stuff that happens here. Like this one's not looking right, this one's not looking right. So again, um, simple is sometimes better, right? So this little editor here I keep going to is just the HTML editor. So let me go to modules, yeah, right? So I just put this little like button in there. Look at that. Beautiful, right? So sometimes simple is more beautiful than fancy. And then every time, if you go with the buttons route, every time you have to, every time you create a new link, then you gotta like go and add the button tag to it. And then some, if they want a walkie, then you're spending time focusing on just pretty design, which it's nice to have nice things to look at, but you want to focus on facilitating super engaging learning sessions that foster human development through modern literacies, and, not spending a lot of time doing canvas editing, right? So and the inclusive piece is you just have all the links there. In my experience, just an insider tip, if you're having a Zoom class, I think it's better, my humble opinion, to put the link here rather than use the integration tool. Because when you use the integration tool, sometimes it just doesn't work and people can't get in or it doesn't update properly. And so again, just having links that people can get where they need to get with as few as barriers as possible usually works. When it comes to putting videos in, like welcome videos or lecture videos, there's two routes you can go. You can use multimedia hosted through YouTube and embed it on your webpage, or you can upload it directly in. So I'm going to show you both ways. So here's the benefit of YouTube. If you do YouTube, um, it's going to, hello, I'll just mute it. It's going to have the closed caption here, right? So your users can press the CC and it's going to read the closed caption out for you. Now, in my videos, I always, when I do the editing, I always put them in anyway because I like to be fail safe. If something doesn't work, I still want people to have captions. But, that's like technical know-how. So if you just upload it through YouTube, it's easier, right? So let me try to show you how to do that on YouTube real quick. Let's see, YouTube. Um, so let's see. Um, yeah, upload a video. All right. To sample class, give it a description, blah, blah, blah. Um, Thumbnail, any is fine. We don't care for right now. It's not made for kids. Sorry, I'm just moving all these floating things out of my way. Next, next. Okay, so here's the thing, right? If you're like, oh my God, I don't want like my video out there for like everyone to see. Don't worry, you can say unlisted and nobody except the people in your class will see the video, right? So this is a big benefit. If you want it to be public, fine. If you want it to be unlisted, do that. Don't do private because then you gotta like worry about sharing it with everyone individually. So just say unlisted, and then only the people with the link can see the video. And if you're only posting it on your Canvas site, then only people there will see it, right? Now, yes.
Okay, all
Oh,
right.
that's me. Someone was saying something. All right. So, so then once your video is up, you just go to this little share button here, and then you click the embed button, and then you get this iframe code, right? All right. So let's go back to Canvas, Canvas, Canvas. Okay, great. All right, edit. So if you want to post like a lecture video or a welcome video on Canvas, you just go to Insert, Embed, and then you just paste that iframe code right in there. And then look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's just complete, perfectly sized. It's got all your branding on it. And then let's hope this works after all my big talk. We'll click close caption. There it is. It's reading out the caption. So that worked. Now, let's say you're like, no, man, I don't want like big Google knowing nothing about me. And you just want to like upload it like directly, right? Well, we could do that too, right? So media. So in this case, you go to media, upload recorded media. And then I have this video here. So for the video, by the way, all I did is I just started a Zoom session with my own link and recorded it and turned on the CC. When you turn it on the CC, like we have here, the closed caption, it'll create a transcript of the video for you. So anyway, you click the video and open it. All right. And then we have this option down here where it says add CC. So when you record it with Zoom, you get this closed caption file, right? So come on. So we have it VTT, same thing. We'll just add that and submit. Updating. See this isn't as efficient, right? Because we're dealing with different kinds of servers. YouTube server is set up to serve out to people downloading files like all the time. That's why it's super efficient for media hosting. And people that are trying to host their own podcasts run into the same problem. That's like, yeah, if you have space on a server, you can put your audio there, but you need it to be able for a lot of people to download it at the same time. However, for Canvas, it's not a big deal. You don't have like, millions of people watching it at once.
Okay, all right. I'm just using this recording as an example of.
So, doesn't seem to be showing the closed caption. So, that might require some editing. So, just goes to say again, just use what works. YouTube works best. I promise if you put it unlisted, like the whole world's not going to, be
How you can
creeping on your
upload
content.
a video directly onto Canvas. Use.
Anyway, so but that's two ways you could do it. Now let's talk about sustainability again. Um, embedding your stuff with YouTube is more sustainable too, because the thing is that if you're teaching this class at multiple universities or moving from one semester to the next, if you upload everything directly on your Canvas site, guess what? You got to do that every time you make the class, right? But if it's embedded using that YouTube link, you can copy one a course over from one Canvas shell to another every semester, and all those videos will be right there in play. Um, some professors here, they're trying to be very like institutionally friendly and use OneDrive for everything, and they have all their videos on there. The problem is it creates an additional barrier for students because then they have to log into their Microsoft account every time they want to watch the video, which is not like, I mean, it's not a huge inconvenience, but it is just one extra step, one extra barrier, and those things add up for people that are busy. Also, if you're adjuncting and you're being really smart about it, then you're probably teaching the same class at lots of different universities, so you don't have to recreate your content over and over and over again. And so it just makes sense to have a Canvas shell that you can keep replicating everywhere without the links and stuff changing. Um, and like I said in part one, you can go create your own free teacher site on canvas.instructure.com. And I would suggest starting there, building your course there, and then bringing it over to your institutions and being compliant with their branding. But as long as you have everything built there first, it doesn't matter where you go. Your intellectual property is yours. Your design is yours. You can take it with you wherever you go. All right, enough of that. So now I just want to talk about like text. Oh, speaking of text, see this image here? I used it with a font called Open Dyslexic. Open Dyslexic. So if you want to be really inclusive, you can use this font, and it's specifically designed. People who have the challenge of dyslexia have trouble sometimes seeing the different feet in like Times New Roman and similar fonts. I don't know if do you know if it's called serif or sans serif, Eric? Well, one of those serifs has feet on it that are hard for some people to read, right? So Open Dyslexic specifically designs their letters in a way that kind of addresses that problem. But the default text on Canvas is just fine too. It looks like Arial. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but Arial font, you can't go wrong if you use Arial. Um, when publishing, yeah, publishing like APA, everyone wants you to use Times New Roman. That's fine. Do what your publishers want. Follow your citation style guidelines, all of that. But when it comes to building web pages, you want to go with like um what's it called? Colby. uh Arial. Just go with Arial or Open Dyslexic and you'll be fine. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so all right. So what we don't want is like this, right? Because it's just like one glob of text. So you want to use these stylings that are given. And when you're writing your manuscripts, by the way, in Microsoft Word, you want to do the same thing, right? Especially if you're making tables of contents and stuff like that. If you're writing a dissertation, you want to do the same thing, which is take your heading, it's heading two, boom. And then if you do that, you create your table of contents, it will update it, right? And then everything else is paragraph. I would suggest it will default to 12-point font, just like APA style, MLA style, I think too. But you want to go with 14-point font, I suggest, because it's just easier to read. Some people don't want to be doing this kind of thing, or like having to enlarge things. 14 points a good medium. And if you change your headings to heading two, it'll automatically make it larger. So you don't have to worry about changing the size to 28.8. And then I would bold all your headings too. So you have that contrast. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would put these all on separate lines. days, Tuesdays, times, this, let's see, location. You know what I mean? Because if someone's going through with a screen reader, it will read it off, boom, boom, boom. It'll be easier to hear. In terms of image, here's like a good example of something you don't want to not have text for in your alt text. Because look, like I'm trying to be inclusive, right? Like all professors trying to be. I'm trying to say, oh, I say it's at, ACB 201, and I'm gonna give them a map here. But, if I'm visually challenged and I'm using a screen reader, I can't see that location. You know what I mean? So I think it would be better to put the address here, right? I would be like, uh, and 8th Street, just so everyone on YouTube knows where to find us. Just kidding. Claremont. No, because like if you're getting a ride, if you're getting a ride from someone, if you're blind and you can't drive, or you're calling an Uber or something, you know what I mean? You want to be able to grab that address and save it. So here, when you click on the image, click image options. Um, Here's the alt text, right? So let's change that. Right? Just like that. And then you can change the side here. You can go like pixels. I prefer to just do percent. It's easier, you know. Now it's like too big, right? It's giant. Don't make it 50. Great. Um, just in terms of inclusivity, I think like, the basic class information, course description, email, office hours by appointment. So you want to put a link here, link to your appointment scheduler. And then if it's a physical location, you put that. And then I think this is what we want. We want, you can hyperlink the text, but we also want the link. It's gonna, the actual URL link there as well. And to be honest, I don't know why we want that, because I believe the screen reader will say open a new tab, blah, 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 blah. But maybe because it's easy to copy. I mean, I don't know, but this is what we've been told is university standards. So that's what we do. You can hyperlink the text, but we also want the link here. And here's just a little helpful tip we got, a little note. You can add this little note here that says office hours are times professors set aside to meet with their students. Why? Because sometimes we have people coming from other cultures that don't understand what we mean by office hours. And we had a student once that said, oh, I thought office hours were when we don't want to bother professors, right? It's like leave me alone time. No, so just make it like, no, this is time I'm just like sitting around doing other work, but also just like waiting for you to come ask for help, tell me how I can support you in your learning needs, right? So that's just a nice little note. It's good to put these key dates in here. And here's just an example of, right, easier to scan with the eye, easier to digest if lists look like lists, right? So you can put the bullet points there. And if it's like putting extra bullet points in here and you're like, I can't get rid of it, you know, move this out of my way. Should be in here somewhere. Yeah, right here, right? So if it's like giving you trouble, then then you just say unordered list, and then you go list item, list item, list item, end list item, you know what I mean? And then if it's like putting extra, you know, list item, then you can just delete it that way and stop fighting with it, you know. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And the same thing, you know, ordered lists would be numbers. So make lists look like lists, and then you can put all the key dates. It's in the syllabus, I'm sure as well. But just, the drop dates in case they need to drop, start and end day, holidays, important administrative dates. Um, that's like forms like last date of file your intent to receive degree or something like that. May not be specific to your class, but still just good to put it in because sometimes, announcements get sent out like the day before or something like that. And so, it's good to give students a heads up. A lot of my work, I try to like think of like what is everything that was a barrier for me as a student and how can I just like try to how can I correct that? How can I create justice, right? So, it's like what I wish people did for me, I try to do for them. Um, this could be a list, right? Let's make it a list. That's not a list item. We can make it heading 3, see how this works. Yeah, learning outcomes. Okay. So you get it. And then if you have a quiz or something, I could do it in quizzes, but just to say like you don't want to do pick which one is hot. And then you have like uh you know this one's red, you know a and this one's like cold. It's taking me longer to do it than it takes for you to get what I'm driving here. uh Blue, right? Yeah, you know what I mean. So if you're making a quiz or something on Canvas, like don't do this, right? You know, you can do that. Make sure you write it as well or something. Um, or just don't even do quizzes like that. I would be hard pressed to find an example, but um, you know, just goes with saying. Let's see. Syllabus. So, okay. All right. This is a website, right? Let's use it like a website. Can we please? Can we please? Like, oh my goodness. Like so many times I see people uploading PDF to the Canvas thing and we're like previewing it. And then, you know what I mean? You can have like links that jump to different sections and jump back, you know? If there's links to text, like let them click the link and go see the text. If there's videos, let them watch the video. You know what I mean? Like all you gotta do, um, let's see if I can find it. Teaching. Let's go with fall. Okay. I wonder if you can see this. It looks like you can. Will it open it? Okay, I gotta reshare. Reshare Microsoft Word. My gosh, so many Microsoft Words. Here we go. Okay. So if you go to File and Save As, you can go down to Web Page HTML and save it as HTML, right? And then you can open it as a link or read it with your code editor, and then you'll get the HTML text. And then you can go right back into Canvas, edit there, and then you just paste in the HTML code there, and it will look exactly like it looks in your Word document. All the links, all the tables, everything. Unless you use tons of images. If you use tons of images, you're going to have to go into files, and then you're going to have to upload all your images here. And then you're going to have to go back into your thing and put all the images in. So, in terms of sustainability, what do? Just don't put a bunch of images in your syllabus and you'll be fine, right? All right. I understand we want to make things beautiful, right? But again, um, efficiency beats fancy any day. Now, you can still put the PDF and the Microsoft Word link in there so people can download it. So is it really necessary? No, it's not like totally necessary because they can download it and see everything for themselves and click on the links. But it's good to have it here too, especially because things change. So you're probably going to upload fresh one and update this link. And so you could just tell everyone you're going to make the updates right here and be checking there, right? And you'll do that in conversation throughout your classes. But if you just set that expectation to begin with, hey, I'm gonna, every time we make updates, just make sure you check in there. The latest version will be. And you can even say like last updated this date, right? Right. So they can see that. Like, what's today? You know what I mean? And then you can put version date on that part too. So they know what the current version is. To add those in there, you just go to files, upload, teaching, fall. Uh, as a student, you don't have to do this, but like trust me, you're gonna be like pulling your hair out if you have to like do a lot of pointing and clicking every semester. All right. And then what I'm gonna do is instead of embedding document, I'm just gonna open it, grab the link, copy it, close, go back to modules, go to syllabus, edit, and I'll just say like download Word as Word doc. External link, paste the link. There you go. So now we got all the bases covered. There's one more important thing I need to show you. I gotta set it as front page. Choose home page. This. Some people like to change some people like to change the front page to the current module instead of just having the home page with all that, which is fine. Just make sure in your modules you have a link to the home page still. But we want to Make this the front page. Welcome. Okay, so yeah, we gotta do the survey and stuff. Um, anyway, I just wanted to show you that there's also this accessibility tool here. So when you click it, yeah, it says it's great, right? But I'm trying to find something that isn't great. Welcome. No, that's not it. Oh my gosh. Maybe here. This has a, no, it's, yeah, okay. Let's try. Edit. Okay, it's got to be on a page, not an assignment. All right. We can show you more of that, or I can just do it and add it in the video. But oh my gosh, it's 12:48. We're running out of time. So let's do the survey. And if you can also do me a favor, just write in chat like any other webinar topics or workshops you would like to see in the future. Because unfortunately, this survey doesn't ask that, and I think that's important to do a needs assessment and be providing you with what you actually want and need and care about.
Well done, well done.
What would you, oh my goodness, would you like to see next? Question mark. All right, so let me paste the survey link. I also have the QR code.